From the Yellow River, Chinese agriculture is going to spread to the north and the west, but the dry environment of the west, particularly the steppes, is going to limit its expansion because harvests are going to diminish to the point that farming becomes impractical. As they expand, Chinese cultivators are going to encounter nomadic peoples who built pastoral societies. These areas are too arid for large-scale agriculture, so they're more like herders. They're going to have large herds of horses, cattle, sheep, goats because of the grasslands. After people in the western steppes began using the horse around 4000 BC, they're able to ranch their herds a lot more effectively, and they are going to get even deeper into the steppe. By 2900 BC, after learning bronze metallurgy, the wagon is going to be introduced into the steppes, and by 2200 BC, the wagon is much more pronounced in the lands east of the Ural Mountains. After 1000 BC, these cluster of nomadic peoples were organized into very powerful militarized herding societies on the Eurasian steppes. Nomadic peoples do very little farming. Instead, they herd animals, and they're going to use them in order to get meat and milk, and also they're going to use the skin and bones for their tools and their clothing. Chinese and nomadic peoples have tense relationships. They are going to be engaged in bitter wars, and from the time of the Shang, nomadic tribes are going to pose a constant threat. The Zhou state grows strong enough to overcome the Shang, partly because of the fact that they honed their military skills against these nomadic peoples. But later the Zhou state is going to almost crumble because of nomadic incursions. Nomadic peoples do not imitate Chinese ways. The environment of their steppe is going to prevent them from cultivating, and the need to herd made it impossible for them to settle permanent cities. Nomadic peoples do not even adopt Chinese political or social tradition, and they don't adopt writing until the 7th century AD. Now, Chinese influence was going to start moving down to the south, particularly into the Yangtze Valley. There was no immediate barrier to cultivation in the south, mainly because of the fact that the subtropical climate there allows for an abundance of agricultural produce. In fact, it's in the southern China that you can actually produce rice. The Yangtze River also does not bring about devastating floods like its northern cousin, the Yellow. But the cultivation of the rice is going to demand the construction and maintenance of an irrigation system. The Shang and Zhou dynasties provided the authority that was needed to supervise the complex irrigation systems, and harvests in the southern Chinese areas increased during the 2nd and 1st millenniums BC. The populations of cultivators' communities surge along with their harvest numbers. The indigenous peoples of southern China are going to respond within two different ways. One, they're going to become cultivators themselves. Or two, they're going to live by hunting and gathering, and they're going to move out into the mountains or even go as far away as Taiwan, Vietnam, or Thailand, where farming is less common. Agricultural surpluses and the growing populations leads to the emergence of cities, states, and complex societies in both the Yangtze and Yellow River valleys. During the Zhou dynasty, the state of Chu governed its affairs autonomously and even challenged the Zhou for supremacy. By the end of the Zhou dynasty, Chu and other states are in regular communication with their counterparts in the Yellow River Valley. They adopted Chinese political and social traditions, as well as writing, and they built societies closely resembling that of the Yellow River. Although only northern portions of the Yangtze River Valley fell under the authority of the Shang and Zhou states, by the end of the Zhou dynasty, all of southern China was forming a part of a larger Chinese society.